So I signed up to do this wellness course. Well, it wasn't like, it's like a workshop thing. And I've done a couple of workshops, and each one I do, it's like, you know, that person's just on a camera and you're just following along and taking notes from it and stuff like that. But this one, it was like a Microsoft Teams. So it was like, you know, you're on camera and stuff like that. So I emailed. I was a bit nervous then because I know I do like videos on this and stuff, but this was like, with other people. Yeah, I'm talking to myself on a screen, really. Um, so like I emailed the girl and I said to her like, are we gonna be on camera and like, am I gonna have to speak? So she come back to me and she was like, well, yeah, we try and like interact and stuff like this. And my first thought was like, I'm just not gonna do it. But then I thought to myself, like, you're trying to do things to push yourself out your comfort zone. Like, come on, like, try and do it. You don't have to put your camera on and stuff like that. And like, because it was like, working in groups. And in the past, like with other things, like working in groups, for me, wherever it was in jobs and stuff like that, like, I would just sat back and I was quiet and, I didn't really talk and I let other people like do the talking and whatever. So, and I expected that's what like this was going to be. But this is wellness and like, this is like, like finding things to make yourself better and like stuff like that and, working on yourself. And I found this is something that I'm very passionate about. So after, thinking I wasn't going to do it, I went into like done it and I wouldn't shut up. Like I was just like, there was things and there was only like a couple of us on camera, but there was other people that was like me and like they didn't want to speak up and they were nervous, they were anxious. And I was just proud of myself for stepping out of that comfort zone, for doing that, because like in the past, like I wouldn't have. So yeah, and it was like, this was like, and I was speaking up at every opportunity, and like there was things that I could like bounce back with, and I was giving them ideas, and I was even like putting in some things that have helped me. And it was just like amazing. And then like I sat there and I was thinking to myself before and I was like, why is that so different to everything else like in the past? And they were all like, if it was things for work, I wasn't passionate about them. Like it was, I didn't find that interesting. I didn't understand it. Whereas this, like I fully understand it and it's like I want to help people, I want people to see it like from a different perspective or like, to understand like where I talk about things that I've been through, to understand it and like they not feel alone and stuff like this. And, things I've learned about myself and things I've learned about like, that can help you. I want to pass that on. So yeah. And then I was thinking like, like all the things that I've gone through, like, and I've like, everything happens for a reason. And like, I really feel like I found my purpose with it. Like, I love me singing as well. And I like, hopefully, like, one day me singing, like, you can intertwine it, and like, because singing can make people, like, music makes people feel better and stuff. And I really do feel passionate about that. That's something I need to, like, build my confidence up with a bit more as well. But like, yeah, I think I've found my passion in like, because I just like, if someone comes to me for advice or like, they come to like, and I want to like try and help them, it's like, like, I just don't shut up. Like any conversations I have now, it's like I go deep and like, I'm like, right, come on, like, how, like we can help, like we can solve it, we can find ways to fix things and stuff like that and give people a different perspective. And, I'm not pushy on it. It's only if they come to me, I'm not going to be like, right, well, you need this. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, I have so much to say. So, like, yeah, I think, like, I had to go through everything I've gone through to get me here, to get me to, like, understand how other people are feeling. Like, I get where you're coming from. I've been there. Okay, like, you're not on your own. So that's really nice. And it's like, yeah, it just gets me excited. Like, just something I'm passionate about. Like, like with all like me other jobs and stuff, I didn't have that passion. Like even like with my hairdressing, I thought like that was what I wanted for my career. I didn't have that passion. And like, you know, at like every job, it was like I just didn't feel like, you know, I'm not good enough because like why aren't I good at this? Why aren't I good at this? And it's like I've never felt this passionate about something. So yeah, thanks for listening.